Oh no, it won't.
Got it recorded there. Andrew McCART, IFL TV. I'm here in Dublin. Eddie, the energy levels are high. I mean, you were in Newcastle, the Day of Reckoning presser, LA, on a flight with Wilder as well. Now you're in Dublin. I mean, how's the energy levels?
The mad thing about my life, Andrew, is I can't tell you what I did last week. Now, I don't know whether that's signs I'm going a little bit doolally or I'm just all over the place. How mad to think that I was in Newcastle, I came back to close all the deals for Saudi, we had the press conference, I flew to LA, we're back in Dublin, we get this done, then I'm in Belfast, then we go to San Francisco, then we go to Phoenix, then we go to Saudi, and then somewhere in the middle we'll have a bit of Christmas. But honestly, I don't actually know what I do, like day to day, so...
Are you enjoying it, Ed? That's the main thing.
I love my life. Listen, there's aggravation, there's days where I don't really fancy talking to you lot for 8 hours. There's days where I don't really want to get on a plane and not sleep properly for a week or probably more like a year. But I love what I do. And I want to win. And I want to win so bad. I want to win for our business. I want to win for our fighters. I want to win for myself. And I love the challenge. Love the challenge. I'm trying to train every day, trying to sleep better. I'm trying to improve myself, my health. I'm feeling good. And at 44 we got to stop this mantra of a midlife crisis. I think you could actually change, I think your life should get better. A lot of people in their 40s and 50s go like this, Andy. Oh, I wish I was 20 or 30 again. You got to be one of those people, right? You listen, I had a great time in my 20s. But you've got to be one of those people that actually turns around and goes, because I'll tell you something now, I feel better now than I've ever felt in my life, right? I feel stronger, I feel more energy, I feel more confident, I feel more comfortable, you know what I mean? So really, life should get better and better and better. And you never know what's going to happen. Unfortunately, in this cruel world, when your time's up, your time's up. But in the meantime, you've got to always look to improve yourself. And I feel great right now.
Good. And you mentioned that you want to win and you want to win for everybody. Katy Taylor wants to win. Is this a make or break fight for Katy?
Listen, this is going to be an unbelievable fight. Last time was a really good fight. This will be a great fight because you've got a girl in Katy Taylor, who actually is just absolutely desperate to win. You've got the whole nation here on Saturday night just will be tuned in to watch. Don't forget, last time, you had Gary Cully got beat. It was like head in hands time. And then you had Katy Taylor got beat, and it was like on the floor time. Both of them this time back in 50-50 fights, really. Katy is the underdog in this fight. Maybe you look at it as 60-40, but she will be better this time. Katy Taylor, make no mistake, but so will Chantel Cameron. She is so confident. Last time she believed she can win. Now she knows she can win, and she thinks she's going to win by stoppage, 100%. She thinks she's going to walk. Chantel Cameron thinks she's going to walk Katy Taylor down and beat her up on Saturday night. And Katy Taylor's going to have to be ready to go to some real deep places, You
mentioned there that Gary lost and Katy Taylor lost. But look at this. We had this all fight week last time out, and then even when they did lose these two Irish heroes that they are, the crowd was still on their feet. They was cheering the name. So, what about this Dublin crowd?
Last time, there was a lot of fans there who just presumed that Katy Taylor would win. They didn't know a lot about Chantel Cameron, right? We all knew in boxing that really this was a 50-50 fight. They didn't. They came for the homecoming of Katy Taylor, the celebration to win. Now, they're knowing she's the underdog. Imagine the atmosphere this time around, because when the Irish are the underdogs, they're on another level to when they're even favourites in a fight. So this fight will be different, and I think you'll see a little bit less from Katy this week in terms of time with the media. Like the ring walk last time was like 5 minutes long, wasn't it? I think she's going to do very little and just go to bed and rest to give it absolutely every ounce of her soul on Saturday night.
Obviously, Katy's always had a target on her back. When she's turned pro, even in the amateurs, she had that target on her back, being the Olympic champion. Now that target's gone. Chantel's got the target on her back. A lot of people want to face the reason why Katy Taylor took the rematch. She wants to get the back on Chantel Cameron. So that sense, are we going to see a Katy Taylor, a hungry Katy Taylor, one that's maybe going to come forward a little bit, meet fire with fire?
Listen, for those, even if you don't know Katy Taylor, you can imagine what she's like. Yeah. when we left that arena last time, I went down from her changing room to the floor in the lift, and I looked at her and I thought, this is going to hurt you so bad. And I said to her, the rematch here? She went, make the rematch. Like, there was never even, I would never have even gone to her. If there was a fight for 10 times as much money, she wouldn't have even looked at it, right? So from the day she suffered her first defeat to now, the burning desire inside her to get revenge and to win this fight, you cannot underestimate that, right? So we know what you're going to get on Saturday night, but you're also, as I said, you know, this isn't just the Katy Taylor show anymore. This is the Chantel Cameron show. She earned that right. And you cannot also underestimate the levels that Chantel Cameron may have gone to or will go to through that experience and through that victory.
Obviously, touching the undercard as well, you've got Paddy Donovan and a good fight against Danny Ball. You've got, obviously, Zelfa Barrett there. You've got no party, no carty, the big man himself. I mean, it's a good card.
It's a really good card. I mean, I said earlier, Gary Cully against Reece Mould is a really good fight. You know, is it 18-1 against 19-1? Reece Mould will really fancy his chances coming off that last fight. It's must win for Gary Cully. Absolutely must win. Beyond that, I love Paddy Donovan against Danny Ball. It's such a good fight. Danny Ball boxed on one of our shows recently for the English title, won it easy, boxed really well. Everyone's talking about how good Paddy Donovan is. This is the moment we find out. Thomas Carty's got a real fun fight, as you said, Zelfa Barrett. Sky Nicholson's in a tough fight against Lucy Wildhype. If she wins that fight, she should become mandatory to Amanda Serrano. You've got George Vizioli debuting in the card. You know, you've got a lot of top all Irish action fights as well. Emmett Brennan in action in a really good fight, and it's going to be just unbelievable from start to finish, culminating in, like I said, atmosphere last time, unbelievable. This time, another level. The Irish are the underdogs, and they're going to turn this house upside down.
I'm absolutely buzzing for it, Eddie. Now let's go back to the last week. I think it was last week, the day of Reckoning Presser, was it, Mum? You talk about your life being crazy. I think with everything that's going on in boxing right now, I can't keep up with time and dates myself, but last week, the day of Reckoning Presser, Joshua Wilder at the same press conference, you and Frank Warren at the same press conference. The boxing world has been waiting 14 years for you and Frank to be in the same press in the same room together. We've waited best part of maybe 5-6 years for Wilder and Joshua to be almost made. What's going on in boxing right now, Eddie?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, you know, it was refreshing, to be honest with you, and it definitely made me think, why did we not do that sooner? You know?
Egos?
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity's got to be right. Don't forget, we're with different broadcasters. Things have definitely changed now. We're with DAZN, and DAZN working with everybody to make these events bigger and bigger. The money is important, of course. Like, if there weren't massive opportunities financially, we probably wouldn't have done it. Hands up. But more importantly, the opportunities for our fighters. You know, I had opportunities for AJ, Bivol and Jai Opataya that if I would have walked away from because of I don't like someone, I'm not doing my job, you know. And it was almost like, you know, when we met, it was almost like a let's not be idiots here.
I was going to ask, what was that? Because you were quite coy on you meeting Frank when you done the interview with Joe Pugh, and I've not heard Frank talk about it much. What was that initial meeting like? Were you anxious, nervous, happy? What was your initial emotions?
George Warren was like the dad, you know. He would come in and say, I want you to go and come and meet my dad. And we set up a room in a changing room, and I walked in and Frank was down the back, you know, on his phone, and George, like I said, George was like the dad. Right, you two idiots, keep your mouth shut and don't mess this up. And that's what I said. I said to Frank, listen, forget the past. We've got a big opportunity here. From my side, you ain't going to have no problems with me. And he went, good, no, absolutely, let's not mess this up. Boom.
That's simple.
Yeah, a couple bit more discussed, nothing about the relationship, just about fights, I don't know. But, you know, again, George has done a very good job here, you know, and I don't see him get that much recognition. He seems to be the kind of guy, he don't want any back and forwards, he's not interested in interviews, but what he is doing some tidy business behind the scenes, and without him and me and Frank Smith and everybody working at pace, we would never have got this done. Everybody down tools and said, let's get this moving, you know.
Obviously, Joshua, watching him at the press conference, he seemed just down to business. There wasn't much coming from him in terms of emotions. Even when Otto Wallen was saying stuff, he was just like, right, talk to me like this, and don't talk like that if you don't want to fight, well, I'm going to knock you out, all this sort of stuff. And even the Wilder comments, when Wilder's been respectful to him, he just looked over at Wilder and nodded his head. There was nothing coming back. So
like I said, you can't win. You're being analysed under a microscope. Like one time he's boring, right? Doesn't say anything at presses. Next time someone has a go at him, and he says, I'm going to fucking knock you out, and everyone's going, wow, Joshua's lost the plot. Where's his mindset at? It's like, no, he just wants to tear someone's head off. When Fury starts behaving like a crazy guy, no one's really analysing his mental state, are they? So, yeah, you know, Big Baby Miller piped up, he got told, and then Otto Warling piped up as well. And what AJ said in the face-to-face is, if you're going to speak like that, don't come up to me after the fight, and like people do, and go, oh, respect, mate. Oh, it was just for the build-up. No, it's one or the other. And by the way, in this fight, I need AJ to be like that. I need him to go out and try and decapitate this man, because you can't show Otto Warling respect. You've got to go through him like a train. So I love the mindset. I love the way training's going. Happy. 5 weeks to go on Saturday. Crazy.
Obviously, we've seen that he's been training alongside Ben Davison. He's been hitting the punch cushion very, very hard. Just talk about that relationship and the reasoning behind going with Ben Davison so late on in this sort of camp, if you want to call it, with 5 weeks out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the plan was initially, because he was going in a situation where he was in the UK and he wasn't flying back to Dallas, decided to go and train with Ben, respects Ben, very good trainer, etc. When the fight got made, we got 6 weeks to go. So, you know, it's a situation where you can't fly to Dallas, acclimatise, then fly to Saudi 2 weeks before. You're going to have like 3 weeks of proper training. So decided for this camp to stay in the UK, train with Ben. Ben's obviously got history with Otto Warling through the Tyson Fury fight. AJ's comfortable, he's firing. We're all happy.
Is it dangerous though? Because we know fighters and coaches need to gel with one another. 6 weeks out against Otto Warling, who, that's not a gimme fight for Joshua. He's a dangerous man, like you've said. Southpaw, he cut Tyson with a punch and gave Tyson work. This is a dangerous fight. So is this like maybe a dangerous act to go with Ben?
Very, very dangerous fight. It's a big banana skin. You know, 1, he's a southpaw. 2, he's talented. 3, he's coming off a good win in Russia against Gassiev. So, like, you know, this is a guy who has momentum, confidence. You saw that in a head-to-head. It's a tough fight, very tough fight.
Eddie, can we assume Wilder, Joshua win their next fights? That's going to get happen. What was the conversation like on that plane to LA with Wilder? What was talk then?
No, listen, there's been conversations well before that. You know, after the press conference, talks are ongoing. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist to know what we're all trying to do, Saudi included, right? But it's all irrelevant if he doesn't win on December 23rd. So that's the plan. We'll continue the discussions, the negotiations behind the scenes, and we'll go from there.
Obviously, I want to talk about the Frank Warren and Adam Catterall situation. I seen you on TalkSport, I saw your interview, and you were sort of like half on Frank's side, maybe, that sometimes when you put it on somebody, you've got to fight your corner, and Adam seemed a little bit quiet in that.
Yeah, but listen, TalkSport said, I think that's a bit out of order on Adam Catterall. Not really. Like, I mean, Adam did fold a little bit, but he's not used to those kind of confrontations. But if you're willing to give those opinions powerfully, you've got to be comfortable enough to debate them live and not on TalkSport, like on the flip of a coin. But Adam lost so many opportunities to hit points that I was thinking, Frank was saying stuff, I was saying, Adam, you just got to say that, but he was a bit like, it's not really his world. But you've got to be confident enough and ready. Like if you started piping up and slagging me off, or not slagging me off, but
I'll just beat you in a 5K, Eddie.
And I said, oh Andrew, come in here, I want to talk to you about that. You've got to be willing to say, well actually Frank, what I meant was this. And when Frank says, yeah, but you know, he boxed Dillian White and Chisora, and you got to go, yeah, exactly. It's about 2 years there that you're not talking about where he ain't really done anything. But he did, you know, it was difficult for Adam. But I didn't think Frank was out of order on it, you know.
Obviously, Simon Jordan said that the media, especially, I think he's talking about IFL and maybe the other guys, the YouTube guys, that we are scared to hurt your feelings or say something against the sort of Joshua's or say something that will hurt your feelings, so to speak, in his own words. What do you say to that? That we're probably, the rest of the media, we cater to you in that respect.
I think some people feel that some outlets push harder than others. I don't think you guys bum lick us or whatever you want to call it. I feel like you ask the questions. Look, it is difficult when we all get on. Like, you're not going to just slag us off to our face, and it's easier for someone to slag you off when they're on air and they're not face to face. Do you know what I mean? Like when you go on air with those people, they're never as aggressive as they are when you're not there, in terms of their opinion. But, you know, I've never banned anyone. I've never said, oh, I'm not talking to them. I've never said to someone, oh, you can't ask this, you can't ask that. But at the end of the day, if you're going to give it, you've got to be prepared to debate it on the spot. And I would have liked to have seen Adam debate it on the spot, because he's bright, you know, he talks well, he's opinionated, but he just didn't seize the opportunity. And once Frank smelt weakness, like he does, he'll run you over.
Was that a set-up, Eddie?
No, I don't think so. I mean, well, it's your platform, you tell me.
Well, I don't think it was anyway, so we'll change the subject quickly there. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr., you said in Newcastle, I know you like to give time on stuff, but can we hear anything, any news you can give me on that? And I know you said the 3rd of December, Tottenham Hotspur.
No, we're working away quietly on that one. We've got about a week to make that fight.
Conor Benn say camp started, or day one of camp.
He's in camp now for his next fight. Doesn't have to be against Chris Eubank. That's what we want. But if we don't get this announced in the next week, we might be looking elsewhere.
Eddie, listen, I think that's big Thomas Carty's in there. When's the big man going to get in Saudi? It seems like a heavyweight. All the heavyweights are out there, but big Thomas Carty's not been yet.
Great atmosphere last time he fought, and there will be again on Saturday. He's got a fun little fight, so keep winning, and he's got a big future.
Eddie, thank you so much, big man, and I'll see you in the 5K.